Hello everybody, welcome back to Cape Rugby TV. It's Wednesday night and we talk about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. And it is now into the playoff stages. But the interesting thing over the weekend was Super League B. We now know who's in the top 6 in Super League B, and we also know who's in the hot spots in the promotion relegation space. Big thanks to our sponsors that are on board with us here at Cape Rugby TV. Hisense, of course, our technical partner. Score Energy Drinks, and well, if you are a Club Rugby fan, then you will know that it's the Score Western Province Club Rugby Sevens that starts shortly, so that's going to be very exciting. More than 40 teams taking part. Dulux and Maitland at number 30 Coburg Road. They've got all your paint specs. MChem 24-hour pharmacy on the corner of Durban Road and the N1, and of course Springbok Atlas, your bus transport solution. Let me introduce you to my panel this evening. It's a repeat of last week. Jerome Parwater.
Yeah, JP. Same people.
Same place. Same place, same people. Nice to have you back.
Good to be here.
Yeah, we're interested to hear how things went at Newlands on Saturday, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, it was very good. It was a good day for Western Province Rugby.
Yeah. Mr. Jones, Danny Jones, nice to have you back. 2 weeks in a row.
Ja, baie dankie JP, goeienaand luisteraars. Dit is goed om hier te wees.
Dit is lekker om hier te wees, want nou kan ons alles uitvind wat in die hart en siel aangaan van WP Rugby. Julle is besig op die oomblik, né?
Baie besig JP, maar kyk ons trek nou na die einde van die seisoen. De dinge gebeur baie vinnig, soos jy gesê het by die Super League B, maar ons die luisteraars sal hoor deur die loop van die middag die loop van die aand oor die wedstryde.
Ek dink die tyd van die jaar is amper meer besig as gewone rugby, want daar's sevens, daar's die play-offs by Nieuweland, daar's die play-offs by City Park, dan staan die awards dinge, en dan elke klub begin met al hulle AGMs en awards ook, en so jy mens moet oral wees.
365 dae, 56 dae per jaar is rugby tyd.
Ons kap net aan. Right, folks, it's been a fascinating weekend of rugby. Of course, Super League A played out. Now we know who our top 6 are in Super League A, and now we, in fact, are down to the top 4 already. In a couple of minutes' time, when we take a look at Super League B, you'll see how interesting that got. That really went down to the wire over the weekend. Everybody was playing with the permutations of who's going up, who's going down, and it came down to bonus points. A lot of things was on fire in that match, in fact, between Hamlets and Peniel Villages. We'll take a look at that, but that was a big decide over the weekend that the bottom 3 could even make a decision on the position as high as point number 6, which was, of course, Kales River. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Some results over the weekend, though. It was Durban against Vix. A big win there for Durban over Vix. 57 points to 14. They now qualify to go through to the next round. And then the surprise weekend result, 24-14 win for Union Mill over Hamiltons. Jerome, it's a bit unfair to say that that was a surprise win, because it was just last week that we spoke about Union Mill and their success in the season. So I would perhaps be mistaken to say it's a surprise win.
Yeah, the whole season we've been talking about Union Mill and how they just went up every game. And I think they're really a team to watch out. I mean, the semis are coming up, so I think they're right up there where they want to be, and I think they peak at the right time.
Mr. Jones, it's now playoff time. False Bay are up against Durban. Let's take a quick look at this semi-finals fixtures. Then we come to you now. False Bay, Durban. These are, of course, on Saturday, folks, playing, and then, of course, Stellenbosch, Union Mill. Danny, False Bay, Durban, this is going to be a cracker. 2 teams that have come head-to-head against each other. The 2 teams that win, you're, of course, going to end up going through to Newlands. Stellenbosch, Union Mill. Union Mill are the underdogs. They've come through the ranks. They're the Cinderella story. They're going up against Marty's. You've got 2 very big games here this weekend.
Most definitely, JP. Besides that, the teams are also playing the non-university teams for the Gold Cup.
Oh, right.
So there's a lot at stake here. We're quite happy with the way the competition went. And on the day, who's the most hungrier will win.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it.
You said this last week, yeah, but and I mean, that is what's going to come down to. Tell us a little bit about the venues that the clubs are playing at.
Well, they will be playing at City Park. The semi-finals will all be at City Park,
right,
starting around about 1 o'clock. And then at 2:15 we'll start with Super League C on the A and the B simultaneously. We're doing the thing that they do at the English Premier League, where on the last day all teams play at the same time, so nobody can
Shotgun
manipulate.
start.
Shotgun
Start like they have in golf. Someone
right.
puts the cannon off and everyone goes.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then after that, the Super League B, and then the semi-final Super League A at 3:30.
So you're looking at a real day
Humdingers, absolutely.
of rugby here. Super League C, Super League B, Super League A, and everybody. And then of course you mentioned the Gold Cup. Tell us a little bit about the Gold Cup.
Well, the Gold Cup, the top club, non-university club in our championships will represent Western Province in the Gold Cup. That Gold Cup will be played in 2019 for the during March and April.
And that'll be determined on either Saturday or on. Well, in fact, it'll be determined this Saturday.
No, because
will
you
it be
could
after Newlands?
you could have the scenario
Yeah.
Union Mill versus False Bay or Union Mill versus Durbell, and then
Or Durbell versus. Oh no, you won't have Durbell False Bay because they're playing on Saturday.
yeah.
So So if Union Mill beat Marty's this weekend, they're in for a shot with the Gold Cup.
Yes.
And if False Bay beat Durbell, they remain in with a shot for the Gold Cup.
Correct.
Right. So we've got a whole. It just doesn't stop. It's just, Jerome. Every week we're having these conversations.
No, I'm laughing. I think a year ago, or a year or two ago, Ismail Dolly said no, they're not ready to play Super League A. Now they have an opportunity to play Gold Cup.
I know. No, I think he's done a fantastic job, really. Right, folks. So this Saturday is, of course, False Bay and Durbell, Stellenbosch and Union Mill. So a lot of big fixtures there. But let's take a look at the stats now. False Bay, Durbell, and we'll see now if it is who've got going to have the upper hand. Of course, you can ignore the fact that it's home and away. This is just how it's drawn, and these were where the teams ended up on the log. False Bay ended up second, and Durbell ended up in third place. Looking at the stats here, Jerome, we're talking about average points per game. False Bay is scoring 39, did score during the league, 39 points per game. Durbell scored 37 points per game. False Bay, of course, have a higher win percentage. They've won 13 of their 14 games, and Durbell with 11 out of 2. Points against is almost the same. False Bay have 271 points against them. Durbell have 278 points against them. And if we look at points for, False Bay, a little bit more, 543 versus Durbell's 519. The only advantage here that I'm seeing on the Durbell side is that they're scoring more tries per game.
Yeah, Durbell is known for scoring tries, and so I think, and it's pretty close. So I think on the day, anything can happen. If you look at points against, it's just a 7 points margin. So both teams are quite jacked up on defense, but I just think like it's pretty even.
Danny, if I look at those stats there, Durbell is scoring more tries per game, but they're scoring less points on average. That means for me that maybe they didn't slot all their conversions or their kicks.
More than likely, JP, but all those statistics are thrown out by the window. Comes Saturday, the team who performs, the players who get into the game quicker, the coaches who can motivate their team on the day, it's a humdinger. As I say, for me, I prefer the proverbial draw, but unfortunately, there has to be a winner, and that will be Western Province Rugby Union. You've
got to be neutral in this. I can understand that. Right, let's take a look.
What happened if it's a draw?
Yes, Danny. What does happen if it's a draw?
Then we go to extra time.
Yeah.
10 minutes each, and if it's still a draw, then the team with the higher position in the log will be declared will go through.
In this case, it'll be False Bay. If they play extra time, the draw, and so forth. All right, let's take a look at the stats for Stellenbosch and Union Mill. All right, so this is an interesting statistic here, because if you look at the points for in the season, Marty's during the Super League A season has scored 936 points this season. 66 on the log points. Jerome, if I look at these statistics here, I mean, these are just crazy. They only had 180 points scored against them. But look, the season is not finished yet for Marty's, and we did see them last year score more than 1,000 points in the season. If there's I mean, as Danny said, the statistics here, you can throw them out the window. You've also said that. Jonah van der Walt has also said that. Forget the stats, just numbers. But if we look at these statistics, the reality is Marties is a point-scoring machine. They've scored almost 1,000 points this season.
Yeah, so, and if you look at the tries, I mean, I don't know, 10 tries a game, it's ridiculous, JP. So if I'm Unimil, I won't do anything else but defense.
Yeah.
I'll just keep them away from my 22, play them in their 22, and play ugly rugby, keep them away from the try line, and just work on defense.
Danny, let's move to you now on the statistics. These statistics, stats between Stellenbosch and Unimil, can we ignore this? Will this go out the window as well?
One cannot one cannot deny the impressive statistics of Stellenbosch. They're also the Varsity Cup champions, you know, and so one needs to be mindful of the quality that they have. But JP, these are playoffs. You have a once-off opportunity, and
it's like the Springboks beat the All Blacks. It can go your way.
It can go your way. But one must actually compliment them for looking at, because they have 2 seasons, one, the Varsity Cup, and then they hit into the Western Province League. So they're managing it quite well, I must say. But Ishmael and his band of merry men, and including Nolene, they have an opportunity to dethrone Stellenbosch, who are the champions, both at Varsity Cup and the Western Province champions. There's a lot in it for them. And as you said, a large component of South Africa didn't believe that what our Springboks could do, and it took Rassie and Kolisi and their men, and they went out on the field and they proved the world that if you're hungry, if you're passionate about the game, and if there's a will to win, it can be done.
Definitely, I think it's going to be fascinating. I think Unimil is going to end up with a lot of supporters at the game, quite frankly. A lot of people are going to be... It's going to be a good weekend of rugby at City Park. Make sure that you get down there. I'm going to give away a set of double tickets to the Sharks game at Newlands this weekend. So make sure you stay tuned, because a little bit later I'm going to ask you an easy question to win yourself a set of double tickets to go and watch Western Province up, DHL Western Province up against the Sharks this coming weekend. Of course, MChem 24-hour pharmacy is on board with Cape Rugby TV. It's on the corner of N1 and Durban Road, 24 hours a day. If you want to find yourself a pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical products, your sports nutrition products, you're looking for orthopedic products, prescription medication, then MChem 24-hour pharmacy on the corner of N1 and Durban Road is the pharmacy for you. Very easy to find. It's got free parking, and if you've got time during the day, there's a cafeteria upstairs and a nail salon. Pretty much everything that you need. 24 hours a day, MChem 24-hour pharmacy. We'll take an ad break, and when we come back from the break, we'll take a look at what's happening in Super League B. This was a fantastic a league to look at, very interesting, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Welcome back, everybody. Right, as we said, it was going to be Super League B that we're going to take a look at. Of course, on the weekend we were out to go watch Busy Bees up against Kylemore. This was going to be also another decider. We'll be speaking to the captains and coaches. Of course, Devin Mentor is the captain at Kylemore. Ivan Jacobs, the coach at Kylemore, and Luvo Mtyap as the captain at Busy Bees. And of course, Hilton Pettinger, coach at Busy Bees. We'll be taking a look at that game a little bit later, as well as catching up with those interviews. But let's take a look now at the results in Super League B. Belleville with a win over Rangers, 52 points to 17. Then Franschhoek went down to Primrose, 48-40. Hamlin's 45-17 over Peniel Villages. Hands and Hearts with a win over All Saints. Kraaifontein with a win over Vineyards, 38 points to 12. And Paul with a win over Collegians, 32 points to 24. You'll of course remember that it was the rag on Saturday between SK Women's and Collegians. We'll talk about that a little bit later. I know Mr. Jerome Parvater was there over the weekend. Let's take a look now at the log. Where does it end up for the top 6? Paul, Helderberg, Primrose, Belleville, Franschhoek and Kuilsriver. And then at the bottom, Peniel Villages, Hands and Hearts and Kraaifontein. Right, Jerome, there were some big games here this weekend, but the one that everybody was waiting for was, of course, the match between Hamlets and Peniel Villages. If Hamlets had won that game as Mr. Jones told us last week, by more than a 46 points difference, then Hamlets would have jumped up into position number 6, and they would have knocked Kales River off the top 6.
But as the result look, you could see they tried, but unfortunately, they couldn't make it. So Kales River had a great season. They were unlucky with a few results. So both of their teams won't disappoint in the playoffs.
Yeah, Danny, looking at the other side of the log though, Kraaifontein, Hands and Hearts and Peniel Villages were are the bottom 3 in the log now. Now, Hamlets could not have gone to sleep on this during this game, because if they did, they quite frankly would have been at risk of that 13th place where Peniel Villages has now found themselves. So it just goes to show you can't go to sleep until the very last minute.
No, you can't. I mean, the promotion relegation there was also on. All Saints and Hands and Hearts, I think they played also, and there's a points difference that got them through. Not points on the log standings, but points for and points against.
Yeah.
So it says a lot that at least that the competition is working, because you have to play until the last, what they say, the competition is not over until the fat lady sings. But and you, as you can see, for me the biggest surprise was Franschhoek. They went from 2nd to 5th.
Yeah, we spoke about that.
And I mean, Primroses, I think, shocked the community of Franschhoek by going to Franschhoek and beating them there. Well done to them. But at least Franschhoek has an opportunity. I am a bit passionate about Franschhoek and Hamlets, because they are the teams that have the greatest travelling supporters.
Yeah.
And one needs to acknowledge that component, JP, because that keeps the rugby alive, and it keeps the club alive, and it's at least one of them is still up there. But the challenge is to all the other 5 clubs is to take a leaf out of Franschhoek and Hamlet's book by bringing in people to support them, because that will make the day.
And hopefully those supporters and clubs will contact Springbok Atlas to arrange their travelling. Springbok Atlas, of course, got a deal for all club rugby supporters and clubs, and all you need to do do your bus booking is call Rashad Luki on 021-506-2572, or email Rashad at rashad.luki@springbokatlas.co.za. Safe, reliable transportation, negotiable rates all over South Africa. We've got different size buses, and all you need to do is get hold of Rashad Luki at 506-2572. All right, Mr. Jones, now if we look at the final top 6, we've got Paul sitting at number 1, followed by Helderberg, Primrose and Belleville, and then of course Franschhoek and Kales River. This means Paul and Helderberg, they're guaranteed their semi-final, and then it's playoffs between Primrose, Belleville, Franschhoek and Kales River as the start. I believe some of these games are in action already as we speak.
Yes, that's right. Primroses, they're playing Kales River here at City Park at the moment. And then obviously Belleville plays Franschhoek. It's quite sad. I mean, Jerome mentioned last week the fact that the Belleville Rugby Club was hit by a few vandalism.
Yeah, very
and
sad.
that vandalism also impacted on the stadium, because it rendered the stadium unsafe. So that's why they needed to trek to Kales River and play that home game there. So, but I'm proud of the Belleville Rugby Club. With all the travesty, they came and they still part of the competition. So well done to them.
Jerome, the Paul Helderberg teams now have a bit of a break. What do you make of that? The players are playing tonight, then they play again on Saturday. Is this too close together? Will they be able to rest? Because we seem to, in club rugby, have a scenario that too much resting is not actually good for club rugby players.
It really is not, JP. Sunday I was at the rec at the track, and Collegians played Paul, and I mean they've done well against Paul, and
that was on the Saturday.
That was a Saturday.
The Saturday was Collegians Paul. Yeah.
Paul. The Sunday they played against SK Warmers.
Yeah.
And they almost beat SK Warmers. So it's just that's the mindset of the club rugby players. They're hungry to play, and the more they play, the better for them, because you don't want them to have a longer break. So I think the two teams playing tonight, whichever one is going to win, is going to have a bit of an upper hand because they have a game tonight. It's better to prepare, like just training.
Yeah. Quickly take a look at the stats then. See Belleville and Franschhoek now. Jerome, Belleville got a slight upper hand here on win percentage versus Franschhoek 64%. But there again, Franschhoek are scoring more points per game and more tries per game. Close call. Franschhoek come off a good win against Kales River. In 10 seconds, your thoughts?
Yeah, I just think that Belleville had a good, for 3 games in a row, they had a good winning string now. It's just how they can keep their focus. And Franschhoek is not going to be easy. So it depends on how Belleville can keep their focus because it's difficult for 4 games in a row, the points that they've scored. Then
speaking about Kales River, they are up against Primrose. Of course, they're playing at City Park now this evening, Mr. Jones. Primrose got a slightly better high win rate. Kales River also, they've survived and made it into the top 6 just. Kales River are going to have their work cut out for them. Primrose have got the wind in their sails, so to speak. The interesting thing, though, is that both of these clubs have had Super League A experience. Do you think that the experience that they gained in Super League A is going to lead to the composure factor between these two giants?
Look, I'm sure that being in the Super League A has given them some sense of stability and that. But it's going to be a very tough game. What Primroses, for me, slightly has the edge, as Jerome says, in that they had an off week last week, whereas Primroses had to play. And so that, in club rugby, you're right, momentum and continuity is an important component. Our players, they live for the next game, and if the next game, as he said, with reference to collegians, is the next day, they'll get up and they'll match the previous day. So yes, it certainly, if Rito can muster his troops, if Papis can do, if Easters can do the same, and Easters is very passionate, and it depends on the two of them. I'm convinced there'll be passionate support. Rito versus Easters, and I'll shake their hands at the end of the game.
Folks, if you want to win yourself a set of double tickets to go and watch Western Province take on the Sharks at Newlands on Saturday, I've got a set of double tickets in my hand here. If you want to go and watch DHL Western Province up against the Sharks at Newlands this coming weekend, which is going to be a fantastic game. The Western Province rugby team is on fire at the moment, sitting top of the log. If you watch the Griquas game, then you will know that they absolutely dominated in the first half, and even the coach Dobson said that second half could have been better. But having watched the Lions and Sharks game, it was a question of bonus points, and Western Province managed to pull it through. I'm loving the way that our backline is playing. Sergio Peterson, that try that he scored was just absolutely incredible. Ruan Nell, you guys have really got a Province team here that is looking great, Danny.
Yes, JP, I must say the players are coming to the party. Super Rugby, you can say what, but there's something special about the Currie Cup. Yeah. It's certainly, it's a breeding ground for new talent, and we all knew that Sergio is a great player. He comes from from an injury. He was almost off for 6-7 months, but it's as if he never stopped playing. And so the Province backline is really moving. The forwards are giving them ball. When Jerome played, it used to be, they said, all Province needs is 40% possession. Well, then they win a game. So it's looking good. Cape Town is looking good.
All right, getting back to what I was saying, if you want to win yourself a set of double tickets, then you need to tell me who is the Western Province. What is the name of the Western Province Rugby Supporters Club? Just send me the name of the Western Province Rugby Supporters Club to 33090. 33090, and one lucky winner will walk away with a set of double tickets to go and watch the Western Province side, DHL Western Province, take on the Sharks at Newlands. So 33090. What is the name of the Western Province Rugby and Stormers Supporters Club? We'll take an ad break. We're back after a sec.
One of our greatest assets are our fans, the faithful. And we really wanted to create something unique, something world-class. A supporter club that engaged and interacted with all our fans, not only within the Western Cape, but regionally, nationally, and in fact internationally. We have the best fans in the world. And we believe we put together the most amazing, unique and innovative supporter program. And we call on you to stand together with us. Are you one of the faithful?
Well, welcome back everybody, it's Cape Rugby TV. As I mentioned earlier on, set of double tickets up for grabs, and just before the ad break you would have seen the advert for the Western Province Rugby Supporters Club, so I'm not going to give it the name again, but you can send it through to us. Of course, if you have forgotten the number, which is 33090, then all you do is you open the Cape Rugby TV mobile app and look for the SMS button. All right, the app is of course available on Google Play or on iTunes. You can find all the logs, the news, the results, the fixtures, all available on the app at the moment. As I mentioned, if you have forgotten the number to SMS, and you simply push the SMS button and it takes you to 33090. Also, for those of you that need to do your bus bookings, Springbok Atlas, or contact Dulux Maitland or MCAM 24-hour Pharmacy, just push on the sponsors icon. It'll call or email straight through to the support service that you need. All right, let's take a look now at the match between Busy Bees and Carlamore. It was all action in Super League C this weekend. Welcome back everybody, right? Technical fun here in the studio. Busy Bees and Kylemore with the first half score there with Busy Bees head to head 6-3, Jerome. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's actually good to see all these boys, JP, almost this whole team or their squad when we train with that clubs.
Yeah.
They were all there, so it's good to see them, and it's good to see that they sort of implement the stuff that we've been doing. In this first half, just look at like Busy Bees. We just saw them playing, so yeah, and then I just told Mr. Jones now that number 10 of Busy Bees, before every training session at Belleville at the HPC, he just put the ball down behind the halfway line, just put it down and kick it over. So I'm not surprised. No, just put it down. No. And it's like, then the guys were cheering him on. He said, "No, kick it over." Then put it further back, kick it over. So I said, "No, I saw this guy." And he kept him in the game there in that first half.
Okay, I think we need to get a TV camera out there and do a little Idols reality rugby kicking competition.
Yeah.
Who would you say? Anyway, let's get back to the game here. 6-3 though. Busy Bees, Carlamore very close.
Yeah, close. As I say, it was just that first half was
Yeah.
just Busy Bees.
All right, well, let's take a look at the second half. Well, then after that, we'll give you the result. All right, Jerome, it looks like there, or Danny, it looks like there that Busy Bees ended up taking the lead that they had in the first half, and they managed to carry it through with a win there, 18-13 over Carlamore. Busy Bees, of course, will be happy with that result, considering that then keeps them in that semi-final position in Super League C, which means they guaranteed that semi-final.
They secure of the win, got the second place. They can rest tonight, and then on Saturday they can wait for the 4 teams that are playing at present.
Carlamore, though, will still walk away with comfortable in the knowledge that they've made the top 6.
Yes, they did, and as we are speaking, I don't know what's happening out there, but they are playing a strand at Castro for that position.
Yeah.
And same goes for the other team with regard to Goodwood versus Strand United.
Down to the wire. Let's catch up now with the captain at Carlamore, Devin Mentor.
Ja, het was beide kanten kan ik zeggen. Het was een groot strijd geweest en ons het uitgegaan vandaag. Ons het 4 met 4 gebeklei vandaag en ik denk het beste span het vandaag gewend. Ja, ik denk ons het bietjie uitgesak hier so by die laastes. Busy Bees het meer honger gelyk na die laaste kant toe en obviously het hulle momentum gehad om saam met die wind te speel. So hulle het gebruik gemaak van die wind om die bal agter ons te skop en dis hoe hulle vertraai 3 sou kom. Ja en ons is nooit kop op die grond, ons hou maar skop hoog ten alle tye. Niks is nog te verlore nie. So ons kan nog die waar deur die drif trek. Ja, ons is ten alle tye reg. Dit maak nie saak wat die opportunity is hier. Ons is reg vir enige challenge wat nou op ons pad kom. Ons is reg om enige iets aan te vat.
Devin Mentor is, of course, the captain at Carlamore. Jerome, just looking at that interview there, speaks confidently, speaks comfortably about the fact that the better team won on the day. It really is a great indication of what club rugby does for the youth out there.
Yeah, it is, JP, and as you also say, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of coverage that get, if I look at the trucking company on the jersey, and for this young man to come and talk, and when we started the show many years ago, the guys were not as comfortable to speak. You sort of have to drag out, but now they just speak fluently, and it helps a lot.
And it's just last week, I think, or the week before that, you and Labib were talking about, yes, he's got his coaching courses and all the coaches that are coming through the ranks there, that you guys are busy with your world level coaching courses, but that maybe one should now, with this new advent of TV for club rugby, look at some media training for coaches.
Yeah, and I must say, also the coaches are better, JP. If you look at the coaches on TV, like your normal coaches, when they interview them, it's back to the drawing board, and it's the same sort of things.
Given.
But these coaches here, club rugby, they talk about, they know the other clubs, they know the opposition, and they just talk rugby, which is good.
Right, folks, as you know, Score is, of course, on board with Western Province Rugby as the official partner to the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. That's going to be happening over 4 weeks at CPUT. Very exciting. Looking forward to the Sevens. More than 40 clubs taking part at the Score Sevens. If you want to win yourself a case of Score energy drinks, all right, you want to win yourself a case of Score, 33090. That's the number that you need to SMS. SMS the word SCORE to 33090. Congratulations to last week's winner, Gavin Crowster. Gavin, you walk away with a case of Score energy drinks. Someone from Cape Rugby TV is going to be in touch with you shortly. Case of Score on its way to you. We'll see you after the break. Let's catch up now with Carlin coach Ivan Jacobs.
Dit was 'n goeie wedstryd en ek moet ons Hemelse Vader eintlik baie dankie sê vir die tyd wat hy vir ons deurgedra het tot nou. Onder omstandighede het ons spelers baie goed gedoen. Ek moet ook alle eer gee aan Bazibies. Hulle het nooit opgehou speel nie en dit was 'n plesier om die wedstryd te aanskou. Dit was so, ons het 'n kanse gehad wat ons nog nie gebruik het nie. Bazibies het van hulle kanse gebruik gemaak en ek dink dit was die verskil tussen wen en verloor. Die kwelpunte by ons kant was klomp beserings, klomp manne wat onttrek het. En ons gaan ook nie dit gebruik as 'n verskoning nie. Soos ek gesê het, ons het ons kanse gehad en ons sal net moet gaan regmaak en voortbou op ons mistakes wat ons gemaak het. En ek glo ons span kan opstaan. Ek moet eerlik sê ek is baie trots op ons spelers. Die manne werk verskriklik hard. Daar het al heel wat groot spelers uit Kalmar uitgekom. En dit is 'n klein dorpie met 'n trotse geskiedenis. Wel, ek dink dit is meer 'n geestelike ding. Ons ouens moet ons geestelik reg voorberei. En as die mind reg is, glo ek, dan is die body ook reg. Wel, dit is ons doelwit om in die finale te speel. Maar ek dink die ouens se hart is op die regte plek. En ek wil ook aan al die spanne sterkte toewens wat in die top 6 is. En mag die beste span wen.
Ivan Jacobs, Danny, just going back to what Jerome was saying there about the developments in the world of club rugby, the union. I mean, you guys must be very proud of the connection that the union has got into the community space with the coaches and your captains and your players. I mean, there's a lot of criticism about sports development in South Africa, but if you look at the cosmos of the Western Province Rugby Football Union, the coaches and captains that we're seeing here and the players, it really is ticking all the boxes.
Yes, JP, we have to compliment. I must compliment Ivan and the captain. They recognize their faults. They praise the other team, and from there, obviously, they're going back and they're going to look at the work that they need to do. But I must say that under Jerome's tutelage, we have this coaching course 2.5, where we look at the top club coaches and we put them through another system. Where they come to the HPC and work with Jerome and Robbie and Dobson. They see what the professional guys are doing and they take it back, and obviously that filters back into their game and their clubs, and it's all about personal development, and you can see the personal development of captains standing in front of a camera, personal development of coach standing in front of a camera. That's not an easy feat, and I'm quite proud of the work that the coaches
but you get that sense
and captains
of feeling,
are doing.
the feeling of going home, of knowing I've just been in the newspaper, or I've just been on TV, or someone's taken a picture of me, someone's listening to me, and my voice is going to be, that feeling of good feeling is something that maybe was, you go home with a spirit of pride at the end of the day. Win or lose, you've just been on TV.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Not that we're promoting the TV thing, I'm trying to illustrate the connection in the world of club rugby. Luvo Mchiapi is, of course, the captain at Busy Bees. Let's catch up with Luvo.
Yeah, it was way too tough for the both teams, but my boys managed to win through, and we were gun blazing the both teams. We were gun blazing, man. So yeah, man, it was a 50-50 because like both teams were like pulling strings to win each other. So it was like 50-50. Both sides like had a chance to win the game. So yeah, it was because like we've managed to win the game, and surely the coach had the plan to keep the other players because we still have a semi-final to play. So yeah, it was the plan to keep other players so that they can play to the semi-finals. Yeah, man, we wait here looking forward. I think we're gonna win it because like the team we have, like you can see the youngsters, like we are capable of doing anything. So as long as my teammates come to the practice and then take it from there, then everything is possible.
Anything is possible. Those are the best words that you can ever hear from a club rugby player. Anything is possible. That sounds fantastic. Hilton Pettinger is, of course, the coach at Busy Bees. Old friend of Cape Rugby and his wife, Shantae. And congratulations, Shantae. I believe that your youngsters have just competed in the World Majorettes and Cheerleading Tournament, which is held here at Grand West in Cape Town. So I'm sure that the Western Cape athletes are very proud of the kids' performance. But let's catch up now on the rugby field. Hilton Pettinger, of course, coach at Busy Bees.
Rensel, het was baie taaf want ons het geweet, Kelmo, hulle kom ek wil nie sê hulle kom soek punte nie, maar die feit van die saak is dat hulle het beklei vir 'n derde plek. So toe ons geoefen het ek vir my manne gesê ons kan nie dit ligtelik opvat nie. Dit is hoekom my kan die resultate gesien het. Dit was van die begin tot die einde toe kliphard. Ja, definitief. Ons het vir ons in die week voorberei vir sulke tipe rugby want ons weet Kelmo is 'n span wat van die skrimskakel tot die wings hardloop rugby speel verstaan. Ons is voorberei vir spesifiek dit. Ek sal sê die groot faktor wat omdat ons kon deurdruk was, ons was 'n bietjie meer physical. En die rede hoekom ek so sê is ons geweet as ons hulle 'n bietjie van hulle balans van kry met bietjie meer physicality, dan kan ons die game wen. En as ons terug sou gestaan het, sou hulle die game ons toe gebring het, dan sou ons in die moeilikheid gewees het. So ons plan was om altyd vorentoe te gaan en hulle oor die voordelin terug te tackle. En dit het 'n paar keer gebeur en dit gewerk vir ons. Beplanning ja, en van die ouens is beseer. Want as 'n hele paar van ons first team manne wat beseer is, ons het laasweek om ons gespeel. So ons het beseer, maar toe besluit ons maar liewers, ons kaptein is ook beseer. Ons sit maar die manne bietjie uit en vir volgende week se semi-finals. Ons benader volgende week se game op City Park as 'n final. As hier vir ons 'n semi-final want ons weet as ons daar wen, dan gaan ons Nieuweland toe, maar die Nieuweland saak is nie so 'n groot ding nie. Die span wat Saterdag wen, gaan Super B toe en dit is waarvoor ons speel en dit is waarvoor ons beklei. So ons gaan vir ons voorberei die week asof dit 'n final is.
All right, then it's of course Busy Bees that goes through. Let's take a look at the top of the log in Super League C. Then, as you can see there, Macassar, Busy Bees, they've guaranteed their top spots now. Strand, Goodwood, Strand United, and Kylemore. And then, of course, the fixtures there. It's going to be Strand up against Kylemore tonight. They're playing at
Castro.
At Gustro, Mr. Jones. Why Gustro?
It's a lot of rugby in die kom, soos hulle sê.
But of course, they had a choice to choose their own neutral venue, and you need to make sure that you choose a venue with lights.
Correct.
So
correct.
lights is of course.
Lights is everything, and
Yeah.
it's a midweek game.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I look. There's some good rugby going to be played at Castro. There's no doubt about
Yeah.
it.
And then of course Goodwood and Strand United also playing at the moment. Another field where you need to make sure you got good lights up.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, and Goodwood has good lights.
Yeah. Good facility.
But I'm sure that if the game tonight, there'll at least be a Stormer and a Karika player that will be at the Strand game.
I have no doubt. Right, folks, we're going to take an ad break, and when we come back from the break, we'll take a quick look at the promotion log, all right, and of course the PAR League as well. Remember, if you want to win yourself a set of double tickets, then SMS the word. Tell us what is the name of the Western Province Rugby Supporters Club. Of course, last week we gave away this Hisense H7S mobile phone to somebody that registered on the Cape Rugby TV app. All right, this opportunity, it was an opportunity to download the mobile app, but you had to register on the app to win the Hisense H7S mobile phone. You can download it on iTunes, or you can download it on Play, and all of the Club Rugby scores, results, and fixtures are available here, and various other goodies such as pictures and quiz shows and games, everything all on the Cape Rugby mobile app. All right, you can download it on the App Store or on Google Play, and register was last week's competition. So congratulations then to Laverne Doman. Laverne, you walk away with this Hisense H7S Pure Shot, a mobile phone. It's got 16 gigs of RAM and a dual SIM, as well as of course the multi-touch 5-inch HD screen. It really is a fantastic phone. Jerome loves to use this kind of phone because it's got 2 SIM cards, and so he can have one for his family, the SIM card number, and one for the players, the other SIM card number. It's very private, and you can, but we know that it's only for players and family.
I'll enter next week.
All right, we'll take an ad break. We'll come back from the break. It's Promotion League, and we'll also take a look at the results in the poll. Right, welcome back, everybody. As you know, of course, the Promotion League is underway to see who the top 3 teams are that will be promoted to Super League C. The Promotion League is, of course, an amalgamation of the Southern League, the City League, and the Northern League. And an interesting factor here, Danny, is, of course, the fact that these teams are playing against each other now across different leagues. And even though maybe you were the star performer in one league, you're all of a sudden playing against someone completely different from a different league, and what you were used to in the one league is not necessarily going to be the same in the other league. So as clubs, they all had to kind of modify their game plans accordingly very quickly.
Yes, they had to. And as you can see, Blue Stars, Massey, Van der Stel, Morningstar, Rugby, it's between those 5 clubs at the moment, but don't throw the others away. So this competition only ends towards the end of October.
Yeah.
There's a lot to play for. They also, some of the teams are playing at the moment. I know. So yes, there's a lot of things happening, JP, and who knows? Who knows?
Well, it's interesting there because if you look at the log, Blue Stars at the moment on the top and first place. Massey Phumelele, Van der Stel, Morningstar, Jerome, Morningstar. They were the shining light in the Southern League all the way through, and you had Massey Phumelele all the way through on the other side. All of a sudden, the teams had to start playing against each other in cross leagues. Bit more of a challenge, but still a long way to go. As Danny said, we've only got 4 games out the way now, so there's still 5 games left to play for these teams. Do you think that by now they've made the adjustment?
Yes, I think, and if you look at a team like Morningstar, I know Mr. Jones, they had lots of meetings with you, and they say that they have enough players to play and things, and they prove where they are now. So with Van der Stel also doing well. So all these teams there, everybody their top 4 can still make it.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at the fixtures that are currently happening. Of course, it's Rugby and Silvertree, Morningstar and Massey Phumelele, Lagunya and Police. Look out on social media, and remember to use the hashtag #WP Club Rugby to get those results as they come in. And then this coming weekend, it's Silvertree and Blue Stars, Morningstar and Police, Rugby and Van der Stel, Retreat and Lagunya. So a lot of action happening then this weekend. Let's take a look at the results in the Paul's top 6 region. Albions went down to Allendale over the weekend, 27-21. And the Young Gardens lost to Lower Paul, 52 points to 26. Looking at the log then, that puts Lower Paul in the first place in the top 6, Allendale in second place. Now that's just because of points difference, and you can see there that they're both on 11 points on points difference, and it's the points difference advantage for Lower Paul that keeps them in first place. followed then by Albion's, Riverstones, Young Gardens and Young Standards. Meanwhile, the bottom 6 results. Of course, it's Lamott that went down to Simondium over the weekend. Paarl Rangers went down to Violet's Paarl, and then Parel United 32-22 over Fora. All right, so looking at the fixtures then this coming weekend, we'll see that it's Riverstones up against Lower Paarl, Allendale take on Young Gardens, and Albions are up against Young Standards. That's, of course, your top 6 league fixtures in the Paarl region. And then in the bottom 6, Lamott take on Parel United, Violet's Paarl up against Simondium, Fora take on Paarl Rangers. Right, then just a final reminder, folks, if you want to win yourself a set of double tickets to go and watch the DHL store, Western Province Rugby take on the Sharks at Newlands this coming weekend, then all you need to do is tell us what is the name of the Western Province Rugby Supporters Club. All right, I'll give you a clue. It starts with the. Win yourself a set of double ticks. Jerome Parvat, you've got a busy weekend ahead.
Yeah, busy weekend, JP. First, the under-21s are playing EP in Port Elizabeth. Dispatch on Friday. Luckily, we come back on Friday after the game, and then Saturday, yeah, I'll go to City Park and spend the day there again.
Danny, same for you. Busy weekend for you. Super busy. Newlands and City Park.
Definitely, JP. It is. I mean, every Saturday is a rugby Saturday, and this week we obviously split between Newlands and City Park. But it's a good long day for us, and we enjoy it's things that we do, and we do it well. And so we know City Park will be great. Yeah. We know Dobson and the boys will give a good account of themselves, and Western Province Rugby will be a top again. Well,
we do know that it's an early kickoff for Western Province. So when the folks are finished at Newlands, they can shoot down to City Park to catch the last game there.
Yes, definitely.
So you finish at kickoff at Newlands is at 2 o'clock on Saturday. So finish by 5, get down to City Park and watch the last round there. Just for the folks that are going to City Park, what time is the first game? I think it's 11 o'clock in the morning or 10 or 11? No, not too early. Not that early. That's too early.
It's too early. Logic says it should be around about 1:45 or 1 o'clock.
Okay, so
and then 2:15, and then obviously 2:15, and then 3:30.
Right, so there's enough time to get down to KC and do your grocery shopping.
And then after that, you can enjoy with a good cool drink.
Yep.
And chips, and you can watch the Boks against Australia.
Right, folks. In addition to the DHL Western Province Rugby team taking on the Sharks at Newlands this weekend, the Western Province Rugby Past Players Association is inviting all the previous past players to come to the game. They'll in fact be meeting at the Circle outside Sports Science at 11:30 on a Saturday, and then they're invited to go to the Railway Mall. So this starts 11:30 to 12 o'clock. You meet at the Circle outside the Sports Science Institute. There's an interim committee in play now that is arranging events for all of the past players. Rita Allen is involved with that. So any of the past players of Western Province Rugby, you can now join the Past Players Association, and this weekend already go and have a bit of fun with some of your old teammates. Just meet there at the Sports Science Circle at 11:30, between 11:30 and 12 at the Circle outside Sports Science before the game. I'm sure it's going to be huge fun. Right, folks, that's a wrap from us here at Cape Rugby TV. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.